Studio is live. Mics are up.
Business Express on Smooth.
It is the 26th of December 2018. It's Boxing Day. Yeah? Unwrapping the gifts. Let's see what gifts Rotus has for us this morning. Hey, Rotus.
Valentine, welcome back, man. Good morning.
Good to see you. Good morning.
Merry Christmas and all the good stuff.
Same to you. I felt like Richard Quest,
Yeah?
business traveler. Because I was checking out all the businesses and the shops and how businesses thrive in different countries, different locations. So I touched 3 countries, excluding Nigeria.
Yes, we're not counting Nigeria.
Touched Zimbabwe, touched Kigali, that's Rwanda, and then touched Cape Town, South Africa. It was really interesting how people there are so way ahead of us. Although South African taxes are really high, 15% on goods and services.
Are you serious?
That's somewhere, at least just a little win for us there.
So our taxi services here are low as far as price compared to them.
Exactly.
Very interesting. In fact, we'll be talking aviations in a little bit on the show today. Good to have you back, man.
Welcome
so
back. Good to see you, bro.
You said you spent Christmas in the air, Abi, while you were flying.
I spent Christmas in transit. So 7 a.m. 25th morning. I was at Kigali International Airport just waiting for my next connection.
Did they announce Merry Christmas to everybody?
Yes, they did.
They did it. Nice.
they did. Somehow I felt like, the announcement was made by one of the hostesses on the flight. It was almost made out of compulsion.
Right.
Because you need to appeal to your customers.
Yes, so you have to remind them, that you're sorry that you're keeping them in the air at the time.
Yes, Lagos, join the conversation by sending us messages through WhatsApp to 0809-444-0981. That is 0809-444-0981. You can also send it through Twitter. Send it with the hashtag BusinessExpress981 when you're tweeting at Smooth981FM.
All right. So no trading yesterday, of course, because it was a Christmas holiday. The markets also will be closed today, Boxing Day. So trading will resume tomorrow. But markets it did spike on Christmas Eve, 3.8%. Possibly a short Christmas rally. We'll see how the markets do tomorrow. But still in the Christmas theme, the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, they had a bit of some stats for us as far as POS transactions on Christmas Eve. So according to them, we had about 1.1 million transactions that were recorded on Christmas Eve with an average processing time of 15 minutes 49 seconds. That was it's that slow. 15 minutes to get your POS transaction done. No. It needs to be a lot shorter. In fact, I think it needs to be in single digits.
Yes.
5, 6, 7 minutes for your POS transactions to be completed. As far as the number of them that were not completed, they said about 25%, so about 276,000 POS transactions failed on Christmas Eve. It's something that is a little frustrating for a lot of people. You can imagine somebody trying to purchase something, it fails, you now have to go find an ATM, to try again.
Plus the anxiety
of being debited more than once, right?
Exactly, and considering the fact that banks are closed, so you know that for you to go to resolve those kind of issues, sometimes you have to step into the banking hall.
Exactly, you're in trouble. So it's some stat. I'm glad that the NIBSS, again, it's the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, is providing us with this data. As far as transactions for half year, the CBN in its half year report, as far as POS transactions are concerned, or rather NIBSS instant payment transactions is how they call it. We saw a big jump in volume and value in the first half of 2017 versus 2018. So in 2018, this year, first half, we had 308 million transactions versus 150 million last year. So that's, again, first half of the year, 104% jump. As far as the value of the transactions, 24.4 trillion naira in value last year versus 36.8 trillion this year. So 50% jump in value. So the point is that we're seeing more and more people slowly gravitate towards using POS transactions in order to facilitate their purchases and make those move along faster. I'm glad that NIBSS is recording this. Again, 276, about 25% of the transactions that were conducted on Christmas Eve, they failed. So they still need to work on improving that. How did they do that? The networks need to be every time. Have you ever seen when you try and purchase something with POS, they now start holding it up in the sky? so it's
network.
Yeah, because of the network. So that's that. So hopefully that improves. Still moving on to aviation, since we're talking about you flying around Africa. Domestic airlines in Nigeria, according to the Punch, they recorded 100% passenger loads. So they were speaking, the Punch was speaking with the media and communications manager of Dana Air and also the corporate communications manager of Air Peace. They were both saying that, listen, as far as the Yuletide season is concerned for domestic flights, their flights were full. And Valentine is your people, though. They said the southeastern routes. According to the media and communications manager of Dana Air, Mr. Kingsley Ezenwa, he said the surge on the Enugu and Owerri routes was massive. He said, for instance, if you put 3 flights on the Owerri route, each of the flights were all full. So it's good to see your people boying the aviation sector, flying home.
Well, let alone domestic flights, international flights.
Yeah, that one is
flights coming into Lagos had 80% at least
Nigerians
of Easterners.
Oh, Easterners
on it.
Oh yeah. You see, you guys, you're doing the work. You're the ones carrying the economy. That's why our presidential candidates are running down there to appeal to you guys. You guys, look at Aba with all the the leather, the bags, shoes they're making. That region they are working, man.
Thriving.
They just need more infrastructure and be able to they can export more of their products out there. So thank you for our southeastern people. You guys are helping aviation. Still on aviation, Wakanow is in the news. Although this was a few days ago, I think about 3 or 4 days ago.
Okay.
They got a $40 million investment from Carlyle Group. So Carlyle Group is a private equity company. In fact, we know Carlyle Group because they're in the news for dropping 147 million investment in Diamond Bank back in 2014. That investment didn't do very well, as we know, since Diamond has been struggling recently. But this Carlyle Group, they like Nigeria, so they've come again. They put another 40 million now into Wakanow. Wakanow, they've been around since 2008. It was actually founded by former Nigerian-born NBA player Obina Ekezi. I can't remember which team he played for. I think it was the Rockets. Maybe we'll ask Tega. But he is an NBA player. He founded them in 2008. As we all know, they are for the online platform for flight bookings and so on and so forth. I actually used them back in 2013 or 14 or so. Yeah. Anyway, the recession was really bad for Wakanow. Flights, of course, the recession reduced the number of Nigerians that were flying. Their overhead costs put them in a bind, so they needed funding. They actually got about $20 million from the ACA, African Capital Alliance, which is an African-focused private equity company. Those guys, I think, are now exiting. So I believe that Carlyle is taking their stake. So there's a swap there. So they're getting out of it. They're going to be giving Wakanow a lifeline. So it's a good thing for them as far as being able to get money now that they can use to scale their business, take care of their overhead costs, and hopefully continue to thrive. The Carlyle Group, they've got a bit of experience working in the online travel space as far as travel companies are concerned. They're funding a company in China, I believe, and also South America. So they've got a bit of experience in addition to giving Wakanow some funds. Moving on, still on aviation, Qatar Airways, they said we were never interested in Nigerian Air. That's the airline that they were looking to float.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So this was at the 18th Doha Forum in Doha, Qatar. So Akbar Bakar, I think, Chief Executive Officer of Qatar Airways, said that his company was not looking to be a core investor in the national carrier product Nigeria. He said that all they wanted to do was to just give the federal government of Nigeria some advice. Although Mr. Hadi Sirika, our Minister of State for Aviation at that time, he was saying that Ethiopian Airways, Qatar, said all these people were lining up. They were lining up to put money. And I like how those guys, they all kept quiet at the time. They didn't say anything. It's not that the thing has died, or at least it's not, not died. They said temporarily suspended. Yes. But they haven't told us when it's coming back. So it's now that they're speaking up and saying that, well, no, we never intended to invest as far as that airline is concerned. So interesting, honest comments coming from there. Okay, so that's enough with aviation. As far as real estate, saw an article in Business saying what to expect from Nigeria's housing market in 2019. Yesterday, I was talking about a fund, 800 million naira, 800 million naira that Nigerian government wants to raise from the African Development Bank and World Bank in order to build more homes for low-income Nigerians. I mentioned this yesterday with Folu. As far as real estate is concerned, it's only about 50,000 homes they're hoping to build. It's still something. Again, our housing deficit is estimated at 17 million units. So 70 million units, you're needing 800 million just to do 50,000. We still have a long way to go.
Still have a long way to
go.
go.
So, but speaking with a number of folks in that sector, they're saying as far as housing is concerned, next year, people are going smaller. So for individuals who are looking to move into rental spaces, they're looking at smaller rental spaces. For people who want to develop malls, they're looking at community malls instead of the large 20, 30,000 square foot malls. They're looking at focusing on communities and building, going into smaller malls. Also co-working spaces for people who are opening businesses.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because of costs and so on and so forth.
And economic demands really.
And then demand and so on. So they're looking at keeping things on a smaller scale. So that ought to do it. Yeah, as far as what's for a good Boxing Day. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Wenga Kamu thinks it's a good thing for me to be back today because he thinks you would have somebody to box with.
Wenga, I know a serious person. Wenga, you've come again.
Wenga also adds the failure of transactions during this period was high. Imagine someone sent me money in the morning to buy chicken, did not get the alert until midnight when everywhere was closed.
Wow.
It's called Onwa December. Our brothers and sisters return from their sojourns from everywhere and have to get home.
Yes.
Regarding the southeastern migration. It's a good for aviation. Road transporters also benefited.
Yes, indeed. Very true.
Thank you. Henry says, for anyone who was in very popular supermarket chain on Chevron Drive, they must have experienced their POS failure. This POS failure, it was a sophisticated mess.
I know who he's talking about.
Thank you so much,
beginning an S. Thanks for your messages, guys.
When I name names.
Exactly.
Because we have fantastic music coming up next for you. Still Smooth Breakfast with Folu and myself. Valentine, Rotus, thank you very much for business.
Thank you. Welcome back, man.
All right, unwrap your gifts and have fun. Good morning.
Business Express.
Nice one.
98.1.
Did Folu just see you on the meeting with
you did. She did.
In collaboration with